Hello, good morning, everyone. My name is Fera. So I think before I start my talk, right, can I just have a quick survey? Raise your hands if this is your first time in a CFA Society Malaysia Career Day. All right, most of you, great. Okay, what about if you're a fresh grad? Raise your hands, please. Okay, seeking for employment? Or just one? Okay, awesome. Then you don't have much competition then. All right, anyway, the reason I started off with that survey is because I wanted to share just 7 years ago, I was actually one of you guys sitting right there looking for employment. So it's quite surreal to be one of the speakers today. I'm quite happy to be here because it's an opportunity for me to give back because I understand how it feels like to be in your position right now. So, hello everyone, my name is Fera. I'm an ASEAN fund manager with Khazanah Nasional Berhad, the Sovereign Wealth Fund of Malaysia. So, 8 years ago, I graduated with an actuarial science degree from University of Illinois. After graduation, actually I wasn't sure which path to take, whether should I go into the investment industry or the insurance industry. So for those with an actuarial science degree, actually the more relevant one is to go into insurance industry. But look, I wasn't sure, right, what's right for me. So I applied to a bunch of jobs, 45 to be exact. 45 different jobs. I got called for interview to 5 of them. And I got offered to 2 different roles. So one is an insurance role as an actuarial science executive. As an actuarial executive, and another one in my current firm right now as an investment graduate trainee. So I decided to go with the investment graduate trainee path because it's a contract. So it's 1 year contract. If I decided I don't like it, I can always leave it. And also because the way the program is set up is that training is also provided. So I went to Khazanah, did the graduate trainee program, and then I just felt lacking because I didn't graduate with a finance degree per se. So I wasn't sure I was fit enough to be in the investment industry. So I decided to pursue this CFA. So I did the CFA program not knowing whether I could even handle it because honestly, working and studying at the same time was difficult. I'm not gonna lie to you, but it was really worth it. So it's a bit hard to even continue because honestly, like just 2 days ago, I was sitting for another exam under the CFA program. Also, it's called CIPM, Certificate in Performance Measurement. So even now at around 30, I'm still sitting for exam to enhance my knowledge. So it's quite funny because now I'm talking about my fresh grad self, and at that time also I wasn't sure whether I want to pursue this, but I just went for it, and it has made a lot of difference because one, I get to network with so many people. Actually, one of my closest friends right now are those who I studied CFA together because I meet them almost every other weekend and studied with them, struggled together, and we grow through our careers together. Second advantage is that it really keeps me disciplined because honestly, if you want to gain knowledge, right, there's so many pathways, like just watching a 30 minutes YouTube video, so you get a lot of things out of it. But would you be disciplined about it? Unlikely if you're not tested on it, right? So I think that's the other good thing, the beauty of sitting for your CFA. It does give you it does keep you disciplined, and for me, it took me 3 years. And the third part is that the opportunity that you get from having sitting for the exam. So for myself, I finished my level 3 in 2018, and then GE14 happened. So after GE14, there was this whole reorganization of Khazanah, since we're the Sovereign Wealth Fund, right? And we decided to start a whole new unit called Public Equities. And my boss, Datuk Hisham Hamdan, who is who is responsible to set up the unit, was going around the organization looking for people who either have the CFA designation or those who have already passed. So for me, I didn't have the CFA yet, but I already passed level 3. So I was one of the people he called to join the team. So at that time I was 26. So at 26 years old, right, I was given the opportunity to set up a whole new unit in our sovereign wealth fund. We decide on the strategy that we want to go for, the investment philosophy, the culture that we want to employ for our team. So it was quite a good experience because it felt like you're in a startup within an established organization. So I got the opportunity. And after 3 years of being an equity research analyst, I was recently sort of promoted to be the ASEAN fund manager this year. So honestly, I don't think I would have got the opportunity to even be part of the team if I hadn't sat for my CFA. So I'm really thankful to my fresh grad self that I pushed through it, that I put the all-nighter, I had the grit to continue with the exam. So if there's anything that you can take away from this, right, there's a few things that I just want to summarize. So first, not knowing where to go is completely fine. Honestly, it's normal. So just take the time to explore, and taking the CFA exam is one of the things that you could explore because there's a lot of benefits from it, not just the technical skills, but also building your character and actually you're being recognized by your employers. So I didn't jump from one place to another, right? I grow within the organization that I am in, but I got to be part of a new unit within the organization because I had CFA. And even now I'm still taking exams. I'm sitting, like I just said 2 days ago, I was sitting for a certificate in performance measurement. Hopefully I passed. So I honestly, learning is a lifelong journey. So if you want to continue to be successful, I think that's the values that you have to continue to employ, to be growth-minded and continue to explore what's available out there. Oh yes, one thing. I just checked the CFA syllabus and I noticed there were a few additions as compared to what it was in 2018. So the topics like machine learning, geopolitics, business model, corporate governance were not there when I was studying, but it is now. So even the institute really take the time to update what's relevant for the industry right now. So if you continue to stay on in the program, don't worry, whatever that is required to have a career in investment and finance, they'll keep you up to date. And as someone with CFA, CFA designation, I have access to those resources even now. All right, I think that's about it. Thank you so much, everyone. Okay, there's plenty of time apparently, so I'm open to take questions.
Anybody got a question? Please, once again, you know the style, you know how it goes. Please scan the QR code and fire away.
How long did I take to complete all 3? I took 1 exam per year, so 3 years. But then you need 4 years of investment-related experience at that time. So 4 years until I got the designation. But I think now the requirement is only 2 years of work experience. Which question should I read the first one? Oh, lajunya. I'm not going to answer number 3, sorry. Number 2, honestly, it's not relevant you're Bumi or non-Bumi. That's really irrelevant. Anyone can apply as long as it's all based on merit. Is Khazanah hiring fresh graduates? Yes, through our graduate trainee program. So the program is from 1st October until 30th September. They start recruiting in April. How do I structure my study when I was working? So I had this Excel where I put in all the topics in CFA, and then I put in whether I went to the classes, I put in whether I read it, and I put in whether I did exercises and what were the scores for my exam. And then 2 weeks before my exam, I would take, 1 week before my exam, I would take study leave for about 5 days. And during then, I would just study the topics where my exercise score is like below 50%, because you need 70% to score, right? So I was just focusing on things that I was weak on. Yeah, so that's how I did it. Oh, number 3, between actuarial and investments. Okay, I think this is quite hard because, I sat for 2 SOA papers, probability and financial math, when I was in the US, and then I sat for CFA. The difference is that actuarial is very deep. It's all about getting the reserve number or the valuation number, how you're going to price your insurance product, whereas CFA is very broad. It's a lot of things, but honestly, it's not as deep as the actuarial papers, but you need to figure out what you like. Do you like to be focused? Do you really like one thing? Or do you like to explore a lot of things? Because, for example, as an ASEAN fund manager, I get to look at so many different sectors within ASEAN, either energy or like electric vehicle or coal or banks, So if you like learning new things, I would say go for investments, to be honest. But insurance, it pays well, and it's very deep, it's very niche knowledge.
2 more questions.
Ya ke? I tak nampak, which one? Oh ni, there's private equity, right? Can you scroll up? To the private equity. That one. Oh, does private equity experience help in my public market experience? Yes. So when I was in my private equity role, I was covering power, energy, and renewable energy. So now when I look at opportunities in this space, within the public equity space, I understand the business model more because I had that 3 years exposure on private equity side. That's it. One more. Okay. Did I self-study or attend any CFA program? I actually attended the CFA classes under Melbourne Institute, right? Okay, dah tak ada. But anyway, actually my lecturer is here, Bobby, who's going to speak next, and also Justin is also my lecturer. So it's awesome because, before this I was listening to them speaking on stage. Now I'm one of the speakers as well. So if you take the CFA, maybe one day you can be in my position as well. So all the best, everyone. I'm really happy to be here. I understand what you're going through. I'm open to speak more if you want to learn more about my experience. I only have 8 years of experience, so it's quite limited. I'm still learning, but I'm happy to share what I know. Thank you very much.
We are so very happy to have you here this morning. Let's give her a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for our first speaker for this segment, Fera Khalil. Terima kasih. Remember, folks, this is about charting your course to financial success. Discover your path in investment and finance. Let's welcome our next speaker for this segment. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Elaine Tai, CFA, Head of Business Strategy, Boost Juice Southeast Asia. Come on, everybody, give her a big hand.
Hi, good morning to all. Thank you for taking time on this lovely Saturday morning to attend the CFA Career Day. I would also like to thank CFA Society Malaysia for giving me this chance to share a bit on my experience. Sorry. I was contacted by Sini, the Executive Director of CFA Society Malaysia, to share my experience about 4 months ago. I can still remember what she said to me. Hi, Elaine. I've looked at your profile. You are now with the strategy team of Boost Juice, and previously you were with corporates. Your career path is different and interesting. It will be beneficial, and for some who may want to know, who are in the midst of thinking about a career switch to other field. And she noted that it would be important for me just to highlight to all the audience today that CFA Charter can help you to succeed with many career options. So for this morning, I'll just have some few topics to share with you. First will be some background on my career journey. Second, you may want to know what would be a typical day for me in my role. Next, I will be sharing on how can you get a role similar to mine. And finally, and most importantly, how has CFA Charter helped me, and how can CFA Charter help you in your career journey? At the end, there'll be some time allocated for Q&As from the floor. This is a slide on my career journey. It can be summarized in 3 key stages. To get into the career path of finance, I took up a business degree in accounting and finance. After my graduation, I have decided that I will enroll in both the CFA and the CPA program. And I've managed to complete it when I was working in my first and second job within a 3 years period. With the business degree, I embarked on the typical path where most charter holders would go. I took up a role in audit with PricewaterhouseCoopers, and then I joined 2 fund management firms. One is with Singular Asset Management in Malaysia, and another, I joined a firm called Alpha Advisory in Singapore. This working experience provided the training ground that honed my analytical skills. When I was with the firms, the fund management firms, I get to analyze and get to be closer to many target companies from various sectors. This is when I started to think that maybe my working experience from the fund management, plus the knowledge that I get from the CFA program, I can contribute and make a difference to the corporates. Just as I was rethinking my career path, I was given an opportunity to join the corporate strategy team of a company called Destination Resorts and Hotels. This is a subsidiary, a leisure and tourism subsidiary under Khazanah National Berhad. I'm very sure you have heard of destinations such as the Saru Coast, Teluk Datai, and Legoland. These are some of the investments and projects that are undertaken by them. So that is the start of my path outside the typical career path where charter holders would normally go to. After that, more opportunities came by where I participated in the Malaysia Airlines Recovery and Restructuring Plan. And I was given a chance to join a strategy team of Jack's Resources Berhad, and also later on, which is my current role now, with Boost Juice Southeast Asia. Some of you would have questioned, what do you do in this non-typical path, the distinct path in strategy? In my view, overall, I think the strategy department, I have a question just now from when I was in hot desk as a career guru. Someone asked me, what do you do on a typical day? Okay, so this one are the main responsibilities, not all, okay? So overall, as in the strategy team, you would be like a special team that is entrusted with specific tasks that are strategic driven, and also tasks that are financial figures related, but outside the purview of the finance and treasury department. So this department normally reports direct to the CEO, sometimes to the CFO. I'll briefly go through the main tasks and some examples along the way. Strategy department, one of the key deliverables from the department is to prepare and present a business plan. This is a comprehensive document that contains the strategic targets and goals for the year, the status of the projects, as well as the annual financials and the budget. So normally, the head of strategy would have to present and get the board approval on an annual basis before the financial year starts. Second, the department is also the gatekeeper for financial projections and financial models in the company. So normally, we will have one financial model for each of the projects that the company is embarking on. And normally, these financial models will be updated regularly when new information has been provided. Next, the department is also involved in evaluation of M&A, divestment, and new partnership proposals. If the proposals are approved to be proceeded, the department has to manage the project end to end. For example, in my previous role in the power company, Jack Resources, we have evaluated numerous power projects in and out of the country, such as coal power projects, renewable hydro projects, and renewable solar projects, etc., etc. The department is also entrusted with the responsibility to manage and execute fundraising exercises. So some of the exercises that I was involved were equity private placement, equity rights issue, and debt financing. And of course, you can't run away from this. The CEO may ask you to participate and sometimes manage special projects like company-wide restructuring and transformation to achieve certain objectives. From 1 to 5, these are the typical responsibilities for the traditional corporate strategies. Lately, I've seen new strategy roles, for example, like what I'm doing now in Boost Juice, whereby we are more involved in the business operations. So what do? We help the CEO and the team to develop techniques, models, plans, and actions to optimize business operations and performance. For example, we may be involved in data analysis to identify and solve certain issues in the operations. Of course, we will have to perform various business analysis for the CEO to support his decision making. And finally, we are to lead project planning and execution across functions. For example, in Boost Juice, we have projects that are set up to achieve certain business operations objectives. And these are outside the normal day-to-day roles. So the strategy team is entrusted with the responsibility to coordinate and to handle issues that can't be solved by the other departments. So in summary, I think strategy department functions as the internal think tank and the consultant for the company. As you can see from the many roles, do you think this is an exciting and interesting work day for you? This is not all, so it depends on the company. Some of them could be undertaken by certain other departments, but these are some of the roles that I have done before in the 3 companies where I was in. For me, the answer is definitely yes. It's an interesting role and it's a challenging role. Because I enjoy my work every day, it stretches my mind, it challenges my thinking, and most importantly, I get to collaborate with the CEO and the senior leadership team, and I know I can have the ability to influence the strategic direction of the company. Some of you may be curious, how do I get my next role in strategy? So I think first, you will need to equip yourself with some working experience in advisory, corporate finance, or some consultancy-related experience. Or you can be an analyst before in financial institutions or the Big Fours. In addition to the working experience, I think more importantly, if you want to stay long-term in this career, you have to have the demonstrated ability on strategic and analytical thinking, ability to problem solve, being adaptable and flexible to changes. And finally, strong and written communication skills are compulsory. As you'll be engaging with the CEO and the senior leadership team every day, and you are to manage cross-functional projects, that's part of the main role. This is the important slide. How has CFA Charter helped me in my career? I got the same question just now from someone at the hot desk who has asked me, why should she take CFA? She's currently taking ACCA now. To me, and I think it's also applicable to you, CFA has increased my job prospects. The charter is prestigious, and employers do recognize the amount of time and discipline that you spend on becoming a CFA charter holder. If you do not already know, CFA exam is one of the toughest and one of the most demanding exams on earth. I think the charter holders can testify for it. CFA Charter has helped boosted my financial credentials and has definitely played an important part in increasing my chances of landing on my dream job. CFA is also globally recognized. The Institute has a global network of finance professionals, and the Charter is highly recognized by regulators, universities, and certification programs worldwide. You can use the certification anywhere, and real-life example is that when I was job hunting in Singapore, I believe it has greatly helped my credential. Finally, CFA program covers various topics such as quantitative methods, economics, and financial statement analysis that allow me to gain solid analytical skills and expertise. These skills are very useful for me and serve me well throughout my career, not only during the early part of my career, whereby I'm more involved in the typical finance path. The same set of skills have helped me and is useful, contributed a big part when I switch out in my current path, which is more on the strategy and corporate finance. So that's the end of my sharing. I hope I've given some insight and guide to all for your career. If you have any questions, you can raise it and I can try to answer as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give Miss Elaine a round of applause, please. Come on, give her a big hand. Thank you very much for joining us today. Due to time constraints, we'll cut off the Q&A session. But if you want to pick her brain, so to speak, you can see her off stage later, yeah? Now, our next guest speaker, ladies and gentlemen, also very, very special, joining us here this morning. Let's welcome Aaron Key, CFA Chief Operating Officer, CARSOME. He's from CARSOME. Give him a round of applause, everybody. Come on.
Hello, good morning. Good morning, everyone. First of all, I'm feeling a little bit nervous because I think I'm super underdressed compared to many of you. I've seen some of you are in full suits and full ties, and I felt I should be down there looking for career advice than giving career advice. But rest assured, I come with a bit of credentials, so don't worry, I'm not a snake oil salesman here. Hi, my name is Aaron. I'm here to hopefully impart a fair bit of knowledge coming from a very different path that has been chosen by myself. You know, a lot of CFA charter holders that are currently still in fund management, and then you have a bunch of weirdos who are not in fund management. Fortunately or unfortunately, I'm one of them. But rest assured, it is one of the paths that you can take. So allow me to walk you through some of them. There are two parts to my presentation. I think the first part is really to walk you through a bit of my background, and the second part is really to hopefully provide a bit of guidance to each and every one of you on how do you figure out your next path. Okay, quick introduction. Once again, my name is Aaron. I'm currently working in CARSOME. Are you aware of CARSOME? Is everyone aware of CARSOME to some extent? So what CARSOME does is essentially we are building an ecosystem of buying and selling used car. I've been in the company for well over 6 years. So this is my academic background, and coming from let's just say an Asian family background, this is very typical lah. You know, when you graduate, your mom will give you either do account or you either do law, and I choose accounting because I'm good with numbers, I'm less good with tax. I study ACCA from 2009 and 2011. Pretty good at it. I was one of the top Malaysia affiliate, and I won a few prizes for ACCA. And after ACCA, I felt a bit lost. You know, I felt lost because I'm quite certain that I don't want to do accounts. Accounts is pretty boring to me and pretty unexciting to me. So what do I do? I tell my mom I'm going to take up another course, so that's CFA. At that point in time, and be honest with you, I don't even know what the CFA do. I did it just because I can spend a few more years in university. But it was a fantastic journey, and I would say CFA helped me to open quite a fair bit of doors. And my journey in CFA really began when I joined the Investment Research Challenge. I think that was 2009. We are one of the very few Malaysian teams that end up in the International Research Challenge. So CFA actually sent us to Bali. That was one of my first exposure to what CFA actually is, and that is laughter taking level 1, right? But I'm again a bit rebellious in what I do. This is my career. I started my journey actually as is there a lighter here? No. I started my first job actually in consulting. So nothing to do with nothing to do with finance, nothing to do with fund management. Dabble a bit. I felt boring. Again, advisory is pretty much, you know, if you're keen, advisory is pretty much telling people what to do, you know, and imagine me being the first year of fresh grad, literally telling a group of board of directors how to run their business. But that was a bit ridiculous, and I know that I don't have the right fundamentals, so I decided to quit my job and went into banking. I spent close to 4 years in banking, dabble in a variety of jobs as well. My first job was corporate finance in Maybank Investment Bank. And the truth is, while corporate finance sounds sexy, the truth is you are actually churning out paperwork. You are literally churning out tons and tons of paperwork, prospectus, rights issue, bunch of things. So again, it was really, really unexciting for me. And I jumped ship to Affin Bank when I tried to do research. This is where it gets a lot more exciting, and this is where I truly can relate to what CFA has taught me, because, you know, in equity research, it's all about portfolio management, it's about fund management. But once again, I think towards year 5 or year 6, I decided that I really am doing a shitty job at fund management, and I decided to change into a very, very different industry altogether. So this is me right now. I spent 6 years in CARSOME, and it was a path not well taken. It was a path that, you know, you can only take when you are young, which I assume most of you are right now. When you're young, you can afford to take risks, but when you're me right now with 2 babies, you can't afford to take risks. So please take risks while you're still young, and don't worry about making mistakes. So I took the risk and I made the jump to CARSOME. I actually joined CARSOME in 2017, so this is a bit cut off. So I've joined my company for 6 years. And the truth is, at that point in time, ladies and gentlemen, CARSOME was literally a shop lot. We operated out of a shop lot in Kelana Jaya. I still remember it. So can you imagine joining from a banking industry where you have your cubicles, where you have your fantastic staff benefits, you have unlimited medical benefits, to make the leap to CARSOME, where at that point in time, it was super small. You know, I'm not even sure if my company can pay me salary on time. But you take risks, and this is what are the things that I would like to share a bit more, especially when you are between, I assume most of you are around early 20s, going into mid 20s. And this is the time that you should be taking even more risks. Because bear in mind, you can afford to make mistakes and then recover subsequently over the next 20 years. And you should not be afraid of making mistakes. You should not be worried of joining the wrong company. You should not be worried about joining the wrong career path. There is no definitive career path for everyone. I didn't even know I would end up in this company for so long. To me, I was just trying to try out something. It was just a stepping stone for me. So my message to a lot of you here is, while you're young, take some risks, be bold, try out different variety of things, and then you learn. Because learning is what's going to define your career over the next few years. So that's a bit of my history, and I'm going to share a few tips on how you can approach your next phase in life, which is a switch from a predominantly academic background to a career background. So there are three things that I believe truly matters. And there's a lot of debate about generalists and specialists. I myself believe in specializing in being generalist. I don't believe in being a specialist. Why? Because being a generalist yourself allows you to be transferable across many other industries. You are not defined by your expertise. For example, I have a lot of engineer friends who actually end up in investment banking. They study engineers their whole life, but they decide not to do engineering. They end up in investment banking. And the reason is, there are a few reasons why, right? And these are the three things I would like you to pay a bit more attention. I think firstly, it's really transferable skills. Second, being entrepreneurial. Third, being continuous learning. I'm going to spend the next few minutes, I'm not sure how long I have, I'm going to spend the next few minutes to quickly walk through what exactly are these things. So, what are transferable skills? Now, transferable skills are the skills that you have learned and you can migrate from one job to another. And this part is really, really critical. There are certain specialized jobs that if you are stuck, you're stuck forever. For example, if you are very good at, in my case, fixing cars, these are specialized skills that will build towards the end of your career. But I'm someone that believes in building transferable skills that can propel you not just from this job to another job, but throughout your career over the next 30 years. And don't forget, career is a 30 years journey. But more importantly and more critically is these are the things that you don't learn, unfortunately, in universities. These are things that you don't learn in high school, which I can never understand why our schooling system is very fixated on academic excellence. It rewards you to be good at memorizing things. You can vomit out what you memorized over the past few years. But the truth is, when you get into the job, it doesn't reward you for knowing how to memorize things. You don't need to. You have Google, you have calculator, you don't need to be fantastic at maths trying to churn out equations. What really defines you to be a good employee? It is your transferable skills. I'm not going to go through every single example, but I'm going to show you a few examples that I think truly matters. I think firstly is really actually listening skills. You see, a lot of us are very bad at listening. We are very good at talking, but we are very, very bad at listening. But a lot of times, people actually want you to listen more and talk less. So especially in the beginning phase of your career, listening skills are extremely important. You have to keep your ears out on what our bosses are saying, and you need to know how to read between those lines. Unlike exams, exams is very straightforward. When there's a question being asked, you have A, B, C, D. But in work situation, your boss most often than not give you very, very vague problem statement. I want to grow this by 20%, right? So you need to know how to read between those lines to be able to deliver the output that your employer wants. And hence, listening skills are tremendously important. A second one that is very, very underrated skills, in my opinion, is conflict resolutions. These are not your family dispute. These are not your boyfriend, girlfriend dispute. These are your co-worker disputes. And we are more often than not, we are very friendly. I think as a human being, we tend to avoid disputes, we tend to avoid conflict. But conflict is what makes you stronger as a person. Conflict is the skills that get everybody together to make sure you deliver something that is meaningful, something that is cohesive for the entire greater good. So the ability for you to know how to confront, the ability for you to know how to resolve conflict, it is also very, very important in your career growth. What else? Last but not least, a sense of humor. You know, you spend, the matter of fact is you spend easily 10 to 12 hours every day of your life together with your colleagues. You spend a lot more time with your colleagues than your wife, than your partner, than your spouses, than your parents. So with people that you have spent time together while knowing how to resolve the conflict, you need to make sure that you're comfortable as well, right? So work-life balance, I don't believe in work-life balance, I believe in work-life harmony. So maintaining stakeholder engagement, maintaining stakeholder relationship are also one of the important transferable skills that you all need to learn. And you cannot learn this on textbook. Trust me, you cannot learn all this on textbook. You learn it from lesson, you learn it from when you screw up, you learn it from when you get whacked. Okay, second one, being entrepreneurial. Now, a lot of people assume entrepreneurs are cool. You know, everyone now is a founder, everyone is a Forbes 30 under 30 or Forbes 40 under 40. Now, the truth is, ladies and gentlemen, the journey are far more often less linear than you thought. You know, what you see is on the top. What you think is on the top, you think is super linear. Your effort equals to result. But the truth is that the roads are often paved with a lot of holes. These are the potholes that you never see. These are the potholes that you never anticipate. And these are the resilience that you should be building in your mindset, especially when you get into your career. You'll face a lot of resistance, you'll face a lot of roadblocks, you'll face a lot of questions, and you will get questioned all the time. So what do you need to be entrepreneurial? Just very few key traits that I felt, I should share. I think number one, it is really not passion, I would think. My number one traits that I believe will help you really well is really resilience. What does resilience mean? Resilience means, in layman language, take face. You are very, very mukatembok. You do not run away from challenges. You do not waver away from difficulties. You anticipate challenges and you try to turn challenges into opportunities. So resilience essentially means your capability to digest, your capability to convert difficulties into opportunities. Passion. I think passion is also equally important. I have a lot of employees who came through our academy, who came through our young graduates who do not have the passion in what they do. And I would just quickly summarize that if you do not have passion in what you do not do it. Because passion drives attitude, passion drives hunger. And if you do not have the passion in doing what you do, find another job. There's tons and tons of jobs out there that you don't have to worry about. And if you can't find other jobs, you can always do something else yourself. Nowadays, we have a lot of e-commerce, for examples. We have a lot of opportunities out there in the market. But the point is, you have to find passion in what you do. Unlike academic, if you don't have passion, you can just memorize and then you can pass your exam and then you move on. But in your career, if you don't have passion in what you do, what you end up is, you end up burning out. You end up really, really burning out mentally and I have 1 minute, okay. Very quickly, I'm also burning out. This is my last slide, just very quick one. Continuous learning. So a lot of people Hello? You stop my mic as well? 1 minute. A lot of people assume learning stops the moment you graduate. When you graduate, you throw your head out. But the truth is it doesn't, and it shouldn't. Learning continues even after you graduated. And you do not get your learning just from textbook. You do not get your learning just from PDF file or any courses that you attend. You get your learning across your entire experience on a day-to-day basis. And you need to keep an open mind. Keep an open mind on what do you learn. The fact that you all are here, it means that you are opening up to learning new things. And that is a great, great start. But my point is, a lot of you here are going to graduate or have already graduated. Do not ever stop learning, because if you see, over time, you'll lose. Over time, your knowledge will be gone. Whatever you have learned in SPM, you'll probably forget half of it already. I forget all my additional mathematics. I don't know how to calculate equation anymore. But you have to keep an open mind to continue to learn through multiple avenues. You have to continue to learn through whatever opportunities that you have. So, last, this is my quote that I always share with my team. Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. Luck is important, and there are few people who got lucky, more luckier than the others. I encourage you to read this book called Psychology of Money. It talks a lot about luck. But what is luck? Luck is literally when preparation meets opportunity. If you have the opportunity, but you do not prepare for it, you're not ready for the luck. Luck is preparing, do all your best, put in all your effort, and you wait for the thing to drop from the sky. But if you don't even do your heavy lifting, trust me, when the opportunity knocks on your door, you're not prepared, and you will never get lucky. So I think that sums up my discussion. We don't have time for Q&A, but please feel free to add me on LinkedIn. Once again, thank you very much for listening to me. If you have any question, please ping me on LinkedIn. Thank you so much.